Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this video finds you well. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at the newest fragrance by the company House of Sillage. And this is a fragrance that I think a lot of you are going to pleasantly fall in love with. It's called Whispers of Seduction. I'm really excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of Whispers of Seduction by House of Sillage, I tell you all about this fragrance, what it smells like, what vibes it conjures up, how long it lasts, so on and so forth. I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like fragrance reviews here on YouTube, but also top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up if you like this type of content. Now, there are a lot of fragrances in the Whispers series, and of course, I've done a video on Whispers of Truth Noir, Whispers of Enchantment, so on and so forth. Today, we're taking a closer look at Whispers of Seduction. And so here I have the card that was provided to me straight from the brand. And as I'm looking at the fragrance notes here, there are so many addictive notes from the candied apple, the marshmallow, the vanilla orchid, fluffy freesia petals, sensual orris, patchouli leaf. So it goes in a few different directions. It could be fruity at times, vanillic, floral, maybe a little bit of earthiness and a green quality in the base with the patchouli. All I can say is that this is an incredibly versatile fragrance, and I think a lot of people will love it for the reasons that I will be revealing very, very soon. I'm excited to talk to you about the smell. Let's start things off with the presentation. Right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to pick up on a sweet quality. And of course, when you take a look at these notes, you have the candied apple in the opening. You also have the vanilla orchid in the heart. You definitely pick up on this combination of vanillic and fruity. So I'm getting the apple in here. I'm having a hard time determining what kind of apple I get per se, if it's a Granny Smith or a Red Delicious, but I do know that I get an apple vibe in the opening, and you have that sugary quality, right? So it's this candied apple. It's drenched in this sugary sweetness, which I think is going to be to a lot of people's pleasure and satisfaction, because I'm personally a fan of fragrances that are a little bit sweeter, and there's nothing about this fragrance that smells juvenile. And so it's a very sophisticated type of a sweetness that you're gonna get from it. Now, the vanilla orchid, I think it's serving two purposes. One, it's conveying a sense of sweetness, which I think is going to appeal to so many people, but it also has a floral tonality that I think combines with the freesia to give it this sort of clean and exotic vibe in the heart of the perfume. Of course, you have this orangey quality as well, and it adds this spark of freshness in the opening, which I think is really, really nice. Makes the fragrance a little bit more accommodating. So it's citrusy, it's full, it's sweet, it's fruity, it's a little vanillic. It has a floral tonality as well. And then of course, once you get into the base, you have the patchouli that I mentioned before. And then you also have the sensual orris. Now, in terms of the orris or iris, that can come across smelling a little bit lipsticky or waxy. And sometimes it actually smells a little starchy, maybe even a little powdery. I don't get any of those characteristics explicitly from this fragrance. I do get the floral tonality, but I think the vanilla orchid and the freesia have a lot to do with that. And of course, for the first couple of hours that you are wearing this fragrance, those are the two floral ingredients that are really going to pop on your skin. After a while, you do get that clean white floral component from the iris. Never smells lipsticky, never smells overly waxy, never smells overly starchy or anything like that. But the more you smell it, the more you'll start to realize that, yes, there is indeed orris used in this fragrance, but it strikes a really nice balance with the patchouli. So it's an even balance of clean white floral and a little bit of starch with that green verdant quality that you're gonna get from the patchouli. So this fragrance does in fact go through three very distinct phases. So it starts off with that fruity sweetness in the opening, the candied apple, that marshmallow accord that you're gonna get in here, very billowy in nature, and that billowy quality is communicated through to the heart because of the vanilla orchid note that you get in here. And the vanilla orchid plays a really nice role in conjunction with the freesia until you get to the base where you have this patchouli and orris combination. I think this fragrance takes you on a few twists and turns, all pleasant, visiting some really wonderful ingredients along the way. And you know, I personally find this fragrance to be quite unisex. I don't think the florals in here are too strong where I see this being a fragrance that is enjoyed exclusively by women. Of course, a lot of floral ingredients can be enjoyed by men as well. All floral ingredients can be enjoyed by men, including but not limited to rose, heliotrope, ylang-ylang, freesia, narcissus, so on and so forth. But specifically, the flowers that are used in here are flowers that I really enjoy. The freesia kind of gives the fragrance an exotic vibe. The vanilla orchid, of course, gives it that sweet yet flowery tonality. I'm personally really enjoying this fragrance. And of course, with a name like Whispers of Seduction, I think it's that sweet characteristic that really lands this fragrance into seductive territory. And yes, it's certainly the type of fragrance that I can see a very confident person wearing on a night out, maybe on a date, maybe on a romantic occasion. And I think it's something that can be enjoyed very comfortably in the autumn and winter months as well. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I try to connect it to other fragrances, perhaps ones that bear a similar note breakdown. I really couldn't do it with this one. I do find this to be a very unique fragrance. I'm very impressed by it. In terms of the longevity, I get this one lasting on my skin in the wheelhouse of 8 hours, which is really, really good. In terms of the presentation, before I jump the gun, projection, I think it projects really well for the first 2 hours of application. It didn't start sitting closer to the skin until about that 7-hour mark. As I commented on the versatility of this fragrance, I would wear this one in every season. I think it performs well enough that you can pull it off in the colder weather, but I think it has enough of those citrusy and floral tones that you can wear it in the hotter weather as well. So I find it to be completely versatile. I think this one, on account of the price and also the quality of the raw materials and the way that it smells, I can see myself enjoying this one very comfortably towards like a special occasion or an upscale scenario. Probably not casually, but of course, if you can afford it, I think you can wear this one whenever you want, no qualms there. I do find this one to be completely unisex. I can see a very confident guy pulling this one off. I think this one will cater to any age, so somebody who's young all the way up to somebody who's a bit older could really enjoy this fragrance. And of course, the presentation, the gold hardware, the unique shape of the bottle, the Swarovski crystals, the attention to detail, just everything about this bottle and presentation is absolutely superb. My final verdict on this fragrance is if you are in the market for a sweet, fruity, and floral leaning fragrance, and you're a fan of notes like freesia, vanilla orchid, that marshmallow accord, I would certainly recommend at the very least sampling this one, get your nose on it. I think a lot of people will really enjoy this fragrance, and I personally do like the direction that it goes in. I think it's a formula and a smell that many people will fall in love with, and it's a very accessible DNA and one that I'm really happy to have in my collection. And I look forward to wearing this one, as well as encouraging my wife to wear this one a little bit as well. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was my fragrance review of the brand new Whispers of Seduction by House of Sillage. If you own or have tried this fragrance, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, if you learned something today or if you took something of value from this video, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Of course, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like this type of content, and make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon. This way, whenever I do put out future fragrance-related content, they will appear in your feed. You'll never miss any of my future uploads. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you soon. Bye.